Northeast students studying outside their states. Jowai rings in New Year 2026 with community celebrations. 16 localities participate in festive events, including musical concerts and certificate distribution. External Affairs Minister S. J. Shankar asserts India's right to defend itself from terrorism, stresses no one can dictate how defense is exercised. And India's first bullet train project reaches key milestones as longest mountain tunnel TM5 breaks through in Palghar, boosting Mumbai-Ahmedabad high-speed rail construction.
Haba nipet ikini jing syak thambor jengki kena jeng kamdai kesin kepeningkong kau di kebun telek si ngam ong ba barok kibasnya andai leksi kidon katu kat ni kibuya duna ya kejing sutu ba ni kinong song snong jong katanya ngam ni sini ni ru ngadon bentah hagari barok kawai ba kini kidi menlong mandatory topik sapo ki subject jongki hangno haba balai tang mangi tip sipang jongki kat ba makipat kim tip sipang jongi kata di kai bangim la mangin pediang kata di kai ba ni susi but di da kini ki daw ba man kapur kini ki jasija ya ki kena jongi tang ki bapuli bapliki man ki para ki khon ki kiti ki ba ki balik trailu sakhi ni teka kajing makir bapliki songsir apa jagung kini ki
NPYF President Nicky Nongklau said he has taken up reports of attacks on Christians ahead of Christmas by conveying the matter in writing through National People's Party President Conrad Sangma, urging that it be raised with Union Home Minister Amit Shah. Addressing the media, Nongklau said such incidents were the result of actions by a few misguided individuals and stressed that they go against the country's secular values. He also noted that people from the Northeast often face discrimination despite respecting all religious practices and welcomed condemnation of such acts by members of the wider Hindu community on social media.
Ya ketua kejeng tombor jong kiru ngala tho hi dak city lemba national president ba Ahmad yo national president ba sim kya ya kan ni ba ra ya kan ni ba home minister jong kari bakum kini jingja kim dei benja ke kini di kini baong pi ba kini ki ba kidon kitu katu kat ni buat nyam akan nyam jongki kim sutu su kim tip su ke secularism hani hapo ri jongi ke dei abaki ki celebrate maki ka ya ki puja jongki nei kini hinu ki jingle nyam jongki ngam snow ba kandon kata ke jing syak pentut akan ada ka state Kristian kewadan jesa ni takmut kata kapan isai kadar bang ni kum di Kristan ni la syai ni kam nang kam start mangi bunyi kitu ki basu le kai ka bung pensutenak ya no hinuru ni la bentang bensukermen bah lemba uci minister jeng unra ya kan Ahmad home minister bat home minister jong kari gudi ben simkia kum kini ki kim de benja nang ni sakman.
Jowai town ushered in the new year with vibrant celebrations as 16 localities participated in the community New Year celebration organized by the Sinjuk Wahe Chnong Jowai in collaboration with the District Tourism Promotion Society West Giant Hills. Thousands attended the New Year 2026 celebrations, during which certificates were presented to participating localities, followed by musical concerts. Organizers said that the event also aims to promote Jowai as a cultural and tourist destination.
Happy New Year. Kirawan me Ochat.
The Havito Organic celebrate Organic New Year, ko da pamani man laus nem. Naliang yung ikam kasenjuk, ay kublela yaka tourist department mo, tourism department, ko yakre lang isirup na ibentawo paman Organic festival Organic New Year yung i ko po pen.
Posnya suk to kajing chem lang. Penyu ko kajing teli. Wi ikam kasenjuk emi hado arpau arhawir ar senong. Kani to ko i man kam ko promote ka tourism ga yong i ko em hapo chnong juai khanang wa yo ye ko em ko te kajing ko kajing maya ha iv ha di vi prachnong ki wa em cha prachnong ga em hapo juai to biar ka muntru kani to kajing chem lang ka get together ko yong i ko ye ko ong ka unity ko ye wanra e ka mto hidu ke te kajing chong lang ko snya ba han re wanra e kajing suk kajing snya tho kajing ya yem lang kajing snya lang haperdi yang ni ga chnong jwai ga yang i.
Moving on to the regional news. Assam Chief Minister Dr. Himanta Biswa Sharma launched the scheme Financial Assistance to Udasan Bhagat at the Chief Minister's Conference Hall in Guwahati. The new initiative aims to provide targeted financial support to the Udasan Bhagat community, helping improve their socio-economic conditions. Officials said the scheme is part of the government's broader efforts to empower marginalized communities and ensure inclusive development across the state. Meghalaya is set to contribute nearly 85% of the land required for the proposed Barapani-Omyam-Silchar Express Highway, with the remaining portion in Assam, Chief Secretary Ravi Kota said on January 1st. Officials stated that tenders are expected to be invited before the end of February and construction is scheduled to be completed within 48 months of commencement. The high-speed corridor had earlier received Union Cabinet approval with an estimated project cost of Rs 22,864 crore, aiming to significantly improve regional connectivity and boost economic development. And now for the national news. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar said India will exercise its right to defend itself against terrorism and that no one can dictate how the country does so. Speaking at IIT Madras Shastra 2026 Festival, he stressed that persistent cross-border terrorism undermines cooperation and goodwill. Referring to Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, Jaishankar said Indian foreign policy focuses on problem-solving through national strengths and partnerships. He also highlighted India's support for stable neighbors, noting that the country's economic growth benefits the region, including Bangladesh.
Statement. In my entire career, which is quite long, I have never seen anything having a greater emotional impact on the rest of the world than giving vaccines. I've actually had people who tear up when they remember the first vaccine shipment. So, I mean, if you remember, look, COVID was a bad memory. We have put it all behind us. You try to actually get it out as much of your system as possible. But at that time, there were countries, there were developed countries, Western countries, some of them, who had stocked up 8 times the number of vaccines of their population. I mean, nobody is going to take 8 doses, okay? But there were countries, and big countries, who had 8 times the vaccine stock of their population, and next to them were small countries to whom they were not willing to give 10,000 doses.
India's first bullet train project has achieved a significant milestone with a successful breakthrough of Mountain Tunnel 5 in Palghar, Maharashtra. This tunnel is the longest among the 7 mountain tunnels and 1 undersea tunnel included in the project. Officials said the achievement will accelerate construction of the Mumbai-Ahmedabad high-speed rail corridor and is seen as a major step towards completing the project on schedule.
ये माइलस्टोन है माउंटेन टनल 5 का ब्रेक थ्रू। भारत माता की जय, भारत माता की जय। आज बुलेट ट्रेन के प्रोजेक्ट में बहुत बड़ा एक माइलस्टोन अचीव हुआ है। ये माइलस्टोन है माउंटेन टनल 5 का ब्रेक थ्रू। टोटल बुलेट ट्रेन प्रोजेक्ट में 7 टनल्स हैं, माउंटेन टनल्स, और 1 अंडर सी टनल। इन टनल्स का डिटेल आपको टोटल दिया गया है, आपके साथ शेयर कर रहे हैं फुल डिटेल। माउंटेन टनल 1 से लेके माउंटेन टनल 7 तक इन सब का डिटेल्स आपके साथ शेयर कर रहे हैं। ये एक टेक्नोलॉजिकल बहुत बड़ा अचीवमेंट है जो समझने के लिए आप सबको जरूरी होगा। एक तरीके से 40 मीटर यानी करीब 120 फुट का ब्रिज, 100 फुट से बड़ा, वो ब्रिज 16 घंटे में कंप्लीट। ये इस टेक्नोलॉजी का बड़ा अचीवमेंट है। करीब 50 ट्रक जितना सामान लेके जाती है उतना लोड एक अकेले इस गर्डर का है।
Centre has approved 22 new proposals under the 3rd tranche of the electronics components manufacturing scheme involving a projected investment of 41,863 crore rupees. These approvals cover the manufacturing of 11 target segment products, including mobile manufacturing, telecom, consumer electronics, strategic electronics, automotive, and IT hardware. These projects are expected to generate production worth 2,58,000 crore rupees and create around 34,000 direct jobs. And now for the international news. Another Hindu man has reportedly been killed in Bangladesh. The South Asian country has reported a spate of violence against its minorities since the collapse of the Sheikh Hasina government last August. This is the 3rd incident of the killing of a Hindu man in Bangladesh in 2 weeks, raising safety concerns. Amid this, India has raised concerns about violence targeting minorities in its neighboring country. US President Donald Trump said on Friday that the United States would intervene if Iranian authorities violently killed peaceful protesters, adding in a Truth Social post that the US was locked and loaded and ready to go. His comments came as unrest in Iran escalated during the country's biggest protest in 3 years over economic hardship. Eyewitness videos released on January 1st showed fires and an overturned car outside a police station in Anza, Lorestan province, a location Reuters verified near a police station in Azna. Iran's semi-official Fars news agencies reported that 3 protesters were killed and 17 injured during an attack on the police station in the western province. Investigators on Friday began identifying victims after a fire engulfed a crowded bar during a New Year's Eve party in the Swiss ski resort of Crans, Montana, killing around 40 people. Swiss officials said the burns suffered by the mostly young revelers at the Lee Constellation bar were so severe that it could take days to identify all the victims. More than 100 people were injured in the blaze, many of them seriously. And now for the sports news. Meghalaya have been drawn in Group B for the final round of the prestigious Santosh Trophy 2025-26, with a draw held at the Football House in New Delhi on December 31st. The 79th National Football Championship final round will be hosted by Assam at Hakukhana and Silapathar beginning January 21st, 2026. 12 teams have been split into 2 groups of 6, with Meghalaya grouped alongside Kerala Services, Punjab, Odisha and Railways. Host Assam feature in Group A with West Bengal, Tamil Nadu, Uttarakhand, Nagaland and Rajasthan. The top 4 teams from each group will advance to the knockout stages, with quarterfinals scheduled for February 2nd and 3rd, the semi-finals on February 5th and the final on February 8th. Former Brazil defender Roberto Carlos is recovering in hospital after undergoing heart surgery on Thursday. The 52-year-old clarified on Instagram that the procedure was planned and that he did not suffer a heart attack. Carlos, who earned 125 caps for Brazil, was part of the 2002 World Cup winning team.
¡Saludos! Hay buenos jugadores brasileños que ya.
Australia batsman Usman Khawaja announced on Friday that he will retire from international cricket after this week's 5th Ashes Test at the Sydney Cricket Ground. The 39-year-old made his Test debut at the same venue during the 2010-2011 Ashes series and has scored 6,206 runs in 87 matches at an average of 43.39, including 16 centuries. Khawaja reflected on his career, saying cricket has given him lifelong memories, friendships and life lessons. The Pakistan-born batter recently returned to the team after a back injury and scored 82 and 40 at number 4 in Australia's series clinching win following Steve Smith's bout of vertigo. And now for the weather report. First, let's take a look at the weather report in Tura. The minimum temperature was recorded at 12 degrees Celsius and the maximum temperature 21 degrees Celsius. The relative humidity is 72%. Moving on to Shillong, the minimum temperature was recorded at 5 degrees Celsius and the maximum temperature 16 degrees Celsius and the humidity is 57%. Meanwhile, in July, the minimum temperature was recorded at 4 degrees Celsius and the maximum temperature is 16 degrees Celsius. The relative humidity 52%. And the forecast in Tura, Shillong and July says partly cloudy weather is most likely to occur. And now, before we end the news, the headlines once again. NPYF condemns killing of Tripura's student in Dehradun, calls for immediate protection of Northeast students studying outside their states. Jowai rings in New Year 2026 with community celebrations. 16 localities participate in festive events, including musical concerts and certificate distribution. External Affairs Minister S. J. Shankar asserts India's right to defend itself from terrorism, stresses no one can dictate how defense is exercised. And India's first bullet train project reaches key milestone as longest mountain tunnel. TM5 breaks through in Palghar, boosting Mumbai-Ahmedabad high-speed rail construction. Well, viewers, with that we have come to the end of the news. Until we meet again tomorrow at the same time, same channel, thank you for watching and good night.